Hmm. Mm-hmm. Very good. Go in the box. In the box. In the box. Go in the box. You're assigned a place. There you go. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Louis the Large. So happy to have you with us. Providing music. Mm-hmm. Ooh, I like it. Mm-hmm. Oh, I love it so much. All right, all right, all right. Hmm. Just gonna stay out here and dance all day. Actually, I may because I have to mow the lawn, so I get to mow the lawn. So excited. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am the goddess of radical self-love, and this is MECA. Make everyone count always. We are a support network for radical self-love and self-care and master manifesting. Manifesting the life you desire and deserve. Radical self-love. Letting go of shame and guilt. Having radical compassion and forgiveness for the self. Following your dreams, passion, goals, and desires. And always utilizing self-care daily. It's not selfish to care for yourself. It is not selfish to love the self. It is wholeheartedly healthy so that your love can be genuine and pure, like an infinite water fountain flowing out to others without the need for codependency and approve it, approval and validation. You do that all yourself. We are like mirrors. When you start having radical self-love, those who value and support you will appear before your eyes because you value and support yourself. This is true. Now, our community here supports and values our community's most vulnerable, care receivers, and those who care for them, caregivers. When our community's most vulnerable and those who care for them feel valued and supported, the rest of us are assured we are valued and supported as well. Community building, team building, that's what we do here. We start with ourselves and let it flow out infinitely onto others in the most genuine, pure way. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. I am completely humbled and I have so much gratitude. It's unbelievable for all our new subscribers, for your likes, your thumbs up, your comments, and your shares so that we can reach others who need radical self-love in their lives. who want to manifest their dreams, goals, and desires, who feel supported by a community that values self-care and oneness. Yes, that's right. Super hot out here. It's like amazing. I like the heat. So that's why we're here. It's kind of cool to be outside. Even though, I kind of do get distracted. So if I just start staring off into space, watching a bird or something, don't mind me. So today we pulled from our new Esther and Jerry Hicks, the Teachings of Abraham deck. Master Manifestation. Getting into the vortex. And we pulled number 28 for our energy read of the day. Our lessons in higher understanding, right? There are many right ways for us to behave. Better show you. Yes. I would say this looks like ascension, right? We could definitely do any one of the chakras here and go up the line. So let's just say root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus, right? And we also have to understand that some of our community is stuck on different blockages within their chakras. So, or their physiological needs, safety and security, community and belonging, right? Ego, communication blockages, radical self-love blockages, self-actualization blockages, yes, being who we really are, and definitely self-transcendence blockages. So we all have to understand that we need to lift each other, not push each other around, and not ridicule each other, right? It is possible to live upon this planet with large numbers of other beings who believe and behave in a variety of ways in peace. When you are able to focus in such a way as to allow your alignment with Source, even though others are choosing to behave differently than you are choosing, then you will really, truly be free from the bondage of attempting the impossible task of getting everyone to agree on one right way. One right way would lead to endedness. Endedness. One right, obviously. Once we're all on the same, right? Self-transcendence, we go back to oneness, complete oneness. So back to the 0 point. Many right ways allow eternal expansion. So growing and understanding, what does the world look like through your eyes? I want to know, right? Be interested in others' perspectives without feeling the need to condemn or like I dealt with yesterday. School. I mean, my view, my perspective is to open eyes, not to be idolized. I don't know. Not to, say that anybody's other views than mine are wrong. However, I do like kindness and compassion. I think we should always have those as a staple. So, I mean, that is one view that I would like everyone to hold, okay? At least in our family, right? Kindness and compassion no matter where you are in your needs, right? So. I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm so thirsty right now. Seriously. Today is Self-Transcendence Thursday. Yes, where we get to learn from my boyfriend Maslow. And we are on towards a psychology of being and dependence on and independence from the environment. Cha cha cha. The needs for safety. Sorry, I'm just gonna. I like should have just worn my suit if I'm gonna be out here. It will be happening. Seriously. So, this is ridiculous. It's too damn hot. This isn't hot. This is like super, like, whatever, but I still have too many clothes on. Alright. Dependence on and independence from the environment. The needs for safety, belongingness, love relations, and for respect can be satisfied only by other people, i.e., only from outside the person. Now, we obviously need others to exist, right? Which is like the card we drew, why we have to understand that there's many right ways of behaving. However, first we must start with the self. Okay? Because if your safety needs are not in check, how are you going to make others feel safe? Right? And if your love relations with yourself, your belongingness with yourself are not in check, then when you are trying to be in that, let's say, our Maslow manifestational map, which you can find on our Patreon for $1. If you're in the section of community and belonging, but you don't feel worthy of your own, like you don't value your own self and what you have to offer others, then you're going to be codependent and needy or ruthless and rude. So the needs for safety, belongingness, love relations, and for respect can be satisfied only by other people, i.e. only from outside the person. So, Maslow and I do disagree sometimes. So that is just the way it is. All couples fight. I'm just kidding. We're not fighting. We just have disagreements. He understands now what I'm saying. So this means considerable dependence on the environment. A person in this dependent position cannot really be said to be governing himself or in control of his own fate. See, we are moving towards my ideology. He must be beholden to the sources of supply of needed gratifications. See? Beholden to the supply of needed gratifications. That means outside the self, right? Because that's what we're talking about. Safety, belongingness, love relations, and respect can be satisfied only from other people, right? So if we're only looking for that from other people, then we're beholden to their feelings of us. So you better have your own radical self-love in check because people change their minds every day. He must be beholden to the sources of supply of needed gratifications. Their wishes, their whims, their rules and law govern him and must be appeased lest he jeopardize his source of supply. Codependency. Or, well, this is kind of bad, but like when I was in the SEIU, Service Employee Union Group, right? I'm not trying to burn a bridge. I'm just talking about, they burned the bridge. If I did not vote the way they wanted me to vote, if I had a difference of opinion, they didn't like that. because that means I might sway other people to have a difference of opinion. We might all use our separate minds, which to me would be good. There are many right ways for us to behave and think. So, he must be, to an extent, other directed and must be sensitive to other people's approval, affection, and goodwill. This is the same as saying that he must adapt and adjust by being flexible and responsive and by changing himself to fit the external situation. I've always had a very difficult time doing this. I mean, I guess now it's kind of interesting because I'm starting to find other people who do have the same ideologies as me and my boyfriend, Maslow. And, you know, so sometimes it's really not about changing who you are to fit in a group, but changing the group. Like pass, 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 or making the group, right? There's one I want. There, put them here with us. Pass, pass. We don't have to take everything that's being offered if it's not what we desire and deserve, right? Or where we feel comfortable. But you only know that by following your radical self-love. Or else you may bend to any one that comes your way out of codependency and get yourself into a whole lot of shit. So, he is the dependent variable. The environment is the fixed, independent variable. So you change your environment because that's fixed and independent, right? Because of this, and once you find that group, that others who might be more on your alignment energy, right? Then you will be more flexible with your thoughts, right? I mean, you should anyway. Why does this always happen? I mean, and this guy, so sorry. I'm going to have to make another freaking a Facebook thing that says, you're not allowed to call me or you will be deleted, right? It's rude and annoying. So, unless you like it in approval, obviously. There should just be like rules. We need to have rules for social media because you need to have boundaries. So, because of this, the deficiency motivated man must be more afraid of the environment since there is always the possibility that it may fail or disappoint him, right? So if you're working out of your deficiency needs or your lower chakra levels, I would say this is more like, it is definitely within the ego, but lower level ego, right? Where you're still trying to get your cup filled by the outside world. And you are trying to get your validation out of others. Holy shit. Sorry, I just thought it wasn't recording for a second. So, that's deficiency motivated. When you're growth motivated, you're working from higher level ego. More interested in what you can build and what you can give and what you can produce for others than what you can get. Like, validation from others that is lower level ego. And just like with The Snake That Never Sheds, my memoir, when Lonnie, my younger self, which I talk to and work with all the time, because I care for her. And she's asking for her like hometown to support her, right? That is lower level ego. She wants outside influences to support her. It is also on the MECA Maslow motivational map in that community sense of belonging, blah, blah, blah. But obviously she didn't get her needs fulfilled at that time and she's still crying out for support, which it's amazing and it's so kind for the people who have come out to support her because, well, it's not amazing. It's just like, the ones who always have are still the ones who continue. So even if it's just a handful, they're a handful worth fighting for, and worth standing strong, and worth being proud of, because they get her, they understand her, right? It's super beautiful. So let's say out of a class of, well, so there's been like, so far, let's say, I think there's been, if there's 69 kids in the class, let's just move it up to 70, so almost 10%, right? If it's 7 kids out of the whole class that are supporting her, that's still 10%. So if 10% in the world can understand what it is that I am trying to relay from The Snake That Never Sheds, that's still a lot of people, right? So she, Lonnie, with her story, is going to help a lot of people, that 10% who need her to be the voice of what they went through or similar situations. So I think it's pretty good. I think it's awesome. Thank you so much, my friends in St. Falls, home Coney, right? And all my other friends who have been supporting me, like, amazing. Thank you so much. Like, all Leilani's friends, because she values and adores herself, they're amazing people. Like, they're self-actualized. The love they have for themselves is pure and genuine and overflows. And I feel it. And I have so much gratitude for our family here, because they're practicing radical self-love. You're practicing radical self-love. And I honor you for doing that. It's the most important thing anyone can do. So, sorry I went off. See what happens when I'm outside? I guess that's what it is, huh? So that's deficiency motivated, right? We know now that this kind of anxious dependence breeds hostility as well. Codependency. Hostility. Yes. Emotional vampires, right? Narcissists. All of which adds up to a lack of freedom, more or less depending on the good fortune or bad fortune of the individual. So if you have the good fortune of being a deficiency motivated man or woman, right? And you had the good fortune of meeting somebody who's really good and who's going to take care of your needs and who's going to pump you full of like validation and support, you're still working from a dependency motivation. However, you're not getting hurt. However, in most cases, that isn't typically what happens. Typically, you will fall into bad fortune because, well, vultures and emotional vampires and narcissists, they can sense the neediness of validation from others. They can sense if you need acceptance and approval, right? So then you can turn into their little slave boy or girl. For real. I'm not kidding. I've been there many times, but never again, because now radical self-love. I can sniff out an emotional vampire very easily, a narcissist. In contrast, the self-actualizing, so sorry. Why? I'm not gonna turn it off because then it will turn off whatever. So, in contrast, the self-actualizing individual Third eye open. Following your dreams, passion, goals, and desires. Having acceptance for the self. Valuing the self, right? Being your true, authentic self. Working from there. Working from a place of radical self-love. In contrast, the self-actualizing individual, by definition, gratified in his basic needs, physiological needs, safety and security, right, is far less dependent, far less beholden, far more autonomous and self-directed. So you see where you fit into your community because you see your value, and then others do. But you're not seeking validation from the others in order to feel good about yourself. Far from needing other people, growth motivated people may actually be hampered by them. So growth motivated people might be hampered by people in general, right? I have already reported their special liking for privacy, for detachment, and for meditativeness. So personally, I love that saying though. Personally, I love my alone time. I love my tub time. And I do love hermit mode. I love hibernating in the winter. I just like going into the zone alone. But I did come out of hermit mode in January in Walk and Roll Away Wednesday. And, I was off of social media for a long time. But I understand that social media is going to help others to find radical self-love. And so I'm here. It brings me joy to meet other people. However, it can get a little much, such as Facebook, right? If you have 5,000 people and 500 of them are messaging you a day, how do you get to your friends that you talk to every day? It's like, I don't even know who's messaging me anymore. It's just a little much. So now I'm going to put VIPs on people. I found out you could do that, which is awesome. But, I understand I have a lot of different jobs, so I just need somebody else to go through it for me. I need an assistant. The Conscious Queen is already busy, so we need an assistant for the Conscious Queen and me. Yes. So, detachment, too. I think it's kind of surprising for some people, the detachment part of it, because people are shocked that I'm not needy, that I can, go months without talking to them, or I don't need them to hold my hand when we go places. There are times that I like it and I appreciate it, which makes it all the more special when those times come. They're magic moments then, because you're doing it out of the moment and not out of a need. It's like when you pray and you're constantly asking for more instead of being grateful for what you already have, right? That's more of the needing more, the praying and always needing more. Like it's working from your deficiency motivation, and not gratitude is out of the higher levels. So always giving gratitude every single day instead of asking for more. And then when you ask for something you actually need, you know it will be there because you can just trust and believe that it already is, because all your needs are always satisfied. There is no lack. There may be hiccups that have nothing to do with, lack when you go to use your card at the grocery store and it's declined, but that has nothing to do with lack. That's more about your own stupidity. Whatever. Be humble. I know. Such people become far more self-sufficient and self-contained. The determinants which govern them are now primarily inner ones rather than social or environmental. They are the laws of their own inner nature, their potentialities and capacities, their talents, their latent resources, their creative impulses, their needs to know themselves and to become more and more integrated and unified, more and more aware of what they really are, of what they really want, of what their call or vocation or fate is to be. I just love it. I gotta say it again. The determinants which govern them are now primarily inner ones, rather than social or environmental. They are the laws of their own inner nature, their own potentialities and capacities, their talents, their latent resources, their creative impulses, their needs to know themselves and to become more and more integrated and unified, more and more aware of what they really are, of what they really want, of what their call or vocation or fate is to be. Cha-cha-cha. Cha-ching. Since they depend less on other people, they are less ambivalent about them, less anxious, and also less hostile, less needful in their praise and their affection. Of their praise and their affection. They are less anxious for honors, prestige, and rewards. Autonomy or relative independence of environment means also relative independence of adverse external circumstances. Autonomy or relative independence of environments means also relative independence of adverse external circumstances, such as ill fortune, hard knocks, tragedy, stress, deprivation, right? So they know that this is situational and not that the universe has cast some evil spell on them, right? It all depends on your perception. You can change the energy at any time you wish, just by changing your perception, your attitude. Yeah? Have an attitude for gratitude, even in the most crazy situations, you know? I remember, like, when my daughter had sepsis, when the conscious queen had sepsis, and the doctors definitely did not think she was going to live. I mean, she died several times. They brought her back. She was on every possible instrument to keep her alive. And I'm sorry. I'm a type of person who time travels. So when I start talking about something such as I go back there. I actually go back there. So we all do, but I'm just a little heightened connection-wise. So I remember praying not to keep her alive, not please don't let my daughter go, none of that. It was just thank you. Thank you for giving me her. Thank you for allowing me to be your mother. Thank you for every day, every moment, every lesson. I don't want her to be in pain anymore. So if it means we're physically going to be away from each other, I just want to thank you for that time. And then the next day I signed a DNR. Her legs turned black up to the knees. Her arms turned black up to the elbows. But she made it. She was like, hell no. I'm staying. I'm staying. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving you. I have work to do here. I have lessons to bring. Way more. To you, me, and everyone else. And she does. You know? She brings the lessons. All my kids really do, to be honest. Because, you know, they were raised in this environment of constantly losing a sibling or having the floor fall out from under their feet. And it does change a person. Right? Don't know where that all came from. But moving on. Can't wait to dance now. So, as Alport has stressed, the notion of the human being as essentially reactive. The SR man, self-realized, we might call him, who is set into motion by external stimuli. I'm sorry. I really needed to bring Kleenex. Oh my gosh. This better be work instead of a person who keeps texting me over and over, or else I'll be mad. Boundaries, people. So, the SR man, self-realized, right? Actualized, but self-realized. We might call him, who is set into motion by external stimuli, becomes completely ridiculous and unattainable for self-actualizing people. The source of their actions are more internal than reactive, right? This relative independence of the outside world and its wishes and pressures does not mean, of course, lack of intercourse with it or respect for its demand character. It means only that in these contexts, the self-actualizer's wish and plans are the primary determinants. So that's why it's so important to follow your dreams, goals, passions, and desires, because whether you right now are a radical self-love expert or not, if you start following your dreams, passion, goals, and desires, I don't mean quit your job right now or whatever. Maybe you can find another job that is more in line with your dreams, passion, goals, and then desires, then do it. But you will fall in love with yourself just by saying, no, I want more. I want my dreams, passions, goals, and desires to come true. I'm going to make them come true. This I have called psychological freedom, contrasting it with geographical freedom. Allport's expressive contrast between opportunistic and appropriate determination of behavior parallels closely our outer determined, inner determined opposition. It reminds us also of the uniform agreement among biological theorists in considering increasing autonomy and independence of environmental stimuli as the defining characteristic of full individuality, of true freedom, of the whole evolutionary process. Again, Allport's opportunistic and appropriate determination of behavior parallels closely, right? So, appropriate, basically, opportunistic and appropriate, what society deems appropriate. Are you doing what's appropriate? Or are you going to go and get your shit and make your dreams happen? So, yeah, I think we're going to stop there because I'm hot as hell. And I need to mow the lawn. Yes. I mean, I have the opportunity to mow the lawn today. I'm so grateful to be outside where my feet can be in union with the earth. And I can be grounded fully. Yes. Yeah. And I do have to go grocery shopping again since I do have funds in my account now. Unbelievable. Believe me. Yes. Prosperity comes to me in known and unknown forms infinitely and abundantly every day. Thank you so much. I am grateful. And I am grateful for you. Yes. Let's dance it out. Let's dance it out before, so I can go and get something else on, since my clothes are going to be all like, hey, I don't want to be touching your skin right now. Where'd you go? You know what? I think I'm just going to have to switch it over because, oh no, there you are. Thank you. Yeah, I love DeLarge. Louis DeLarge. Way to rock me out. Thank you so much, y'all, for celebrating Self-Transcendence Thursday with me, with all of us, our community here. Thank you for your likes, comments, shares, and subscriptions, and donations. Please and thank you. We do want to keep my family fed. So you can just follow the description link below that says donations if you would like to feed my family. Yeah. And help me get some new chairs for my living room because I found some where we do our vlogging. Love it. Love you all so much. Mwah, 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 mwah. Yes, have a beautiful day. Ciao, ciao.